Hi, I'm Joey Lombardi, and this is Procurement Tech News for Monday, January 23rd. A major technology trend that I have been tracking for the last 6 months is technology companies' reduction of their workforce. It has been persistent over the last several months, and major companies have been reducing their workforce. What's driving this particular post is CRM technology, specifically SalesForce and Pegasystems, both recently announcing fairly significant reductions in their workforces. Pegasystems recently announced a 4% reduction of their workforce, about 250 resources. Many companies are attributing their poor stock performance to the reductions, but they are not mentioning the judgment against Pegasystems last year around May, where the company was accused and found guilty of IP infringement. So the stock has tanked, and now they are starting to reduce their workforce. Is this just the beginning? I personally suspect that this is the case. I think that Pegasystems specifically will continue to reduce because I don't see a window for their stock to improve until there is a settlement and a reduction of the penalties and fees judged against them, which is close to $2 billion. Customer relationship management software giant SalesForce also recently announced a fairly significant job elimination, up to 10% of their entire workforce, which equates to about 8,000 people. News reports indicate that some of their most recent acquisitions will be the likely target for labor reductions, such as Tableau, potentially Slack, but there are other reports coming out that their sales teams will also face reductions in the future. The employees of SalesForce and Pegasystems are not alone. Over the last 6 months, major software companies have been doing significant reductions to their workforce. Another notable recent announcement in the technology world was Amazon reducing 18,000 workers in their e-commerce, devices, and HR departments. Amazon has stated that they are making adjustments to their workforce to adjust for post-pandemic or post-pandemic labor needs and the fact that there has been some reductions in demand. But again, this is a trend. Cisco recently announced 4,100 job reductions, which is about 5% of their workforce. Intel announced that they are looking to reduce $8 to $10 billion in operational expense, which they haven't fully announced how many people that impacts, but some articles estimate up to 5,000 employees. Tuesday of this week, Microsoft announced 10,000 job cuts. And then finally, what I think is the most notable of the job eliminations, and I think kind of started the major trend, was Meta. Meta announced 11,000 job eliminations in the fall. Most of those eliminations are linked to their failed growth in the virtual metaverse. That's the headset and augmented reality push that they heavily invested in, which is not resonating with the market as of yet. I want to correlate these job eliminations to a recent article that I read at Fast Company that called out an over-efficiency issue within corporations. And that's a very polite way of saying that many corporations have been running lean for a while, which means they are lacking redundancy. We have seen this very recently with the failure of the airline system, specifically Southwest, over the holidays. They had very, very lean resources. They had some issues with some technology, and people were stuck for 4 days. Very similar situation in transportation with the train systems in the fall. There were some issues there. And again, as companies run very lean organizations where there's no redundancy, you're going to run into support and operational issues. And as companies reduce their workforce, how does it actually impact their support? What do the experts say? According to Jeffrey Pfeiffer, who is a professor at the Stanford Graduate School of Business, job eliminations typically don't improve company performance or their economic status. Academic studies have shown time and time again that workforce reductions don't do much to save the company money over time. And this is because of things like severance packages, layoffs increase unemployment insurance rates, and it impacts workplace morale. Employees wonder if they're next, and it just impacts the overall productiveness of a company. I'd like to share some personal experience with this. In 2019, SAP announced fairly significant job reductions, over 4,000 job eliminations. And many of those eliminations impacted their support divisions. And as a customer of them at the time, it was very apparent how it impacted their ability to reduce problems and address service requests. It took them, in some cases, 12 months to fix problems. And to be honest, I have not interacted with them very recently, but I still think that they're impacted by these issues. They still have trouble turning around invoicing and payments and responding to requests. And that was almost 3 years ago. There's discussions on whether or not there will be a recession in the US in 2023. Whether or not that actually happens, it's clear that in the technology space, there's a follow the leader mentality, and there will likely be more job eliminations, reductions of potential new roles. There's going to be cutbacks in 2023 in the tech world. And for you, the customers and consumers of those services and products, what does that mean for you? We have to make sure that we're tracking and understanding how these companies are able to continue to provide support and services when they are in the middle of these reduction cycles. It is clearly not the end of this topic and this trend, and we will continue to watch it as the year progresses. But I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it useful, and we're going to keep doing it to keep you engaged and informed. Thank you.